Wow, here it is, episode number one. Uh, I didn't think this would happen. I thought I was going to put this off for a long time, but here we are. Uh, Going in dry with Chad, the podcast. First and foremost, a little background info about me. I am a New Yorker, I guess. I've lived in New York for 10 years. I'm a singer in the band Glass Lungs, which you probably have not heard of, nor should you have. But we're out here. And I'm sure I'll be pimping them out at some point, urging you to buy a t-shirt so I can eat. So that's a little bit about me. I went to film school for a year. That was the extent of my education. I'm not a particularly well-read individual. And like I said, I went to art school. So any opinions expressed herein are from a complete idiot. So let's just get into it, I guess. Going in dry. People are wondering why I titled it this. Mainly because I'm just a vulgar pervert, I guess, is the main reason. Nothing beyond that. I like to tell people this is how I live my life. This is the motto that I live by, going in dry. Because it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. It might not be fun. But you just gotta bite your lip and fucking stick through it. Oh, was that my first fuck of the episode? I heard you have to wait 10 seconds if you're on YouTube. For some reason, if you swear within the first 10 seconds of a video, you're more likely to be demonetized or something. I don't know. I really have no idea what I'm getting myself into. Apparently this isn't the best time to be jumping into the YouTube pool, so to speak. It's not great to be a YouTuber right now, I guess. Because apparently years ago they were just handing out money to people, barely had to do anything. And now it's increasingly difficult. Just over time, it's I guess it sucks. But I don't care about views. I don't care about monetization. I don't even care if anyone sees this, to be perfectly honest with you, or listens to this for that matter. I'm just doing this because I feel like it, and because I'm really lonely. That's about it. You just need somebody to talk to. It's like people who ask you for advice, but really they just want to say shit, and they want you to hear what they're saying. Like, they don't actually want to follow anything that you tell them to get better or to improve their own lives. They just want you to listen to them. And that's all I want, because I'm a very sad man. So, yeah, going in dry. It's kind of a bit of a double entendre, or intender, if you want to intentionally mispronounce things to piss people off, which I think is a good idea. I think that'd be fun. If you meet somebody really pretentious, just intentionally mispronounce words that you know. And just act like that's how you've been saying it for the past 10 years. Like, no, I'm pretty sure it's intender. And I guess the main... there won't be any real main focus to this fucking thing. I think I'm going to start off here with a couple notable news stories, and I'm just going to talk about that, I guess. The Oscars were last night. I did not watch them, but I did watch a lot of morning TV, which kind of recapped everything, because I just wasn't fucking into it this year. It just did not pique my interest at all. But my favorite part of the whole Oscar recap shit is, and I've seen the video of this performance. But it was the Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper performance where they played that song from the Stars Born, and everybody was going on about the sexual tension, and it started to get borderline fucking creepy. And I'm not talking about people who are joking, uh, like, oh, they must be boning, which I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe they did. Maybe they did bone. Maybe they are boning. I mean, I certainly wouldn't turn it down for asking me. But there was a level of creepiness in certain people, and I don't want to generalize, but it's usually the lady broadcasters who they almost felt like they were trying to. I don't know if you know what shipping is, and if you don't, then you're lucky. You're a lucky one. Don't Google it. You're just going to encounter a bunch of people that you want to punch in the face. But shipping, I'll explain real quick, is something that occurs usually by fans of TV shows, and it involves two characters that are on the show who interact with each other a lot. Usually it's a guy and a girl. And these rabid, hardcore fans of the show will obsess over these two characters who are, at the time, platonic, probably friends. The fans obsess over wanting these two to fuck really, really bad. And I feel like I got that vibe from a lot of these people. A lot of these, they were news anchors, some chick on the Today Show. There's a lot of that going around. Like it was almost like they want them to fuck. They really want Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga to fuck. And it somewhat disturbed me. And I'm not easily disturbed. I'm like, why the fuck are you so obsessed with these two getting together? It really makes no sense to me. Why don't you mind your own fucking business? Just focus on the song. They sang, it was really nice. And I don't get, like, in the movie they're fucking. And they're at the award show for film. Obviously they're going to be kind of putting on a performance that encapsulates what their characters are going through in the movie. I mean, why people all of a sudden are really urging them on to bang. It's creepy. It's plain creepy. And you need to stop it. Just please. All those housewives trying to get Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga out of bone. Just please just cut it out. I know they're both attractive people, but you need to get a life, please. It's horrible. Okay. Another thing. Oh, this is my favorite one. Patriots owner Robert Kraft. I believe that's his name. I remember it because the fucking macaroni cheese. Kraft guy. He was charged or suspected of soliciting prostitution in Florida. At a strip mall rub and tug, as my grandpa used to call it. I find this hilarious for a couple of reasons, and I'll put up a picture of the guy. That's the first reason, because I mean, look at him. Actually, he's not the only one who was charged. I'll put up a couple of pictures of the other guys, and they're what you would expect, and just really fucking gross old white dudes. But the big source of comedy here for me is that they're all billionaires. Or at least Kraft is a billionaire. I don't know, the other guys are pretty wealthy from what I've heard. But they insist on this kind of antiquated style of getting a hand job. Or a blow job. I mean, I'm guessing they spared no expense on this outing. I mean, I would imagine if you go, like, you'd want to get, if they offer a little suck, you get that instead. I don't know. I've never gone myself, willingly. But that is a story for another time. Uh, yeah, I don't get. It's kind of like it's a very old man thing to do. It's like, do these guys know that escorts exist? Like high end, like you can get like fucking smoke shows delivered to your door, like goddamn Postmates, for like nothing. It would be like the amount of money they'd be paying for that is like nothing compared to what they have in their bank accounts. Why not, splurge a little bit? Splurge on your fucking splooge. I don't know where that was going. Um, it's almost like a it's like when like an old man, maybe it's one of your grandparents, will try to like Google through texting. And you're like you tell them like, no, that's not how you do it. There are better ways. I don't know if that's a good analogy or not, but like here's a big thing that they could have done if they were smart about it. You can pay porn stars to fuck you, and it's a pretty reasonable price. I've thought about it before, and it's out in the open. You can go online, you can Google that shit too. And just like as a side note, Katrina Jade would be my first number one pick if I had to choose one. But yeah, and I imagine that she'd be pretty discreet about it. Some of them are not so much. Stormy Daniels, I'm looking at you. But yeah, why the fuck you going to the strip mall rub and tug? There's so many better options. It's 2019. You gotta get with the times. You gotta. That makes no sense to me. But I'm sure when I'm old, I'm gonna be doing a lot of shit that makes no sense to younger people. Why is he using a fleshlight? We got robots for that now, or something of that. Something of the like, I guess. This just came to me. One thing that I did not know is that well, we're sticking to the whole prostitution subject topic. Prostitution is rampant in Japan, I learned, or at least in Tokyo, and I didn't know this. I went there 5 years ago. I'm going back this year, in April, and I can tell you right now that was such a huge, massive surprise to me. Because I don't know, I guess I always imagined that was more of a, I don't know, like it's a fucking Thailand, like you go to Thailand and you get you get hookers. That's what you do. You go to Thailand, you get fucking hookers. Yeah, I didn't know it was a Japan thing, but it's all over the place. And if you watch like tourism videos on YouTube or wherever online, and they're like, top 10, places to see in Tokyo, or things to do, they'll mention the red light district in Shinjuku. But they kind of gloss over a lot of that shit. They don't mention there's like fucking brothels. They kind of allude to it, I guess, but it's in a very kind of, they don't want to talk about it way. Yeah, so I don't really know why it's so kind of out in the open there. I would assume it's illegal, technically, but I don't know, somebody's getting paid off. You got the fucking Japanese mob, the Yakuza, paying off the law enforcement. Yeah. So, but now that I know that, I'll be ready when I go there. I won't be caught off guard. Bring my fat wad of cash, and it'll be an experience. You only live once, as they say. Fuck it, I'll do that. That's okay. I joke around about getting prostitutes, paying for sex. I don't know if I actually would, given the opportunity, but especially now. And the reason for that is uh, I bought a PlayStation 4 recently, and I pretty much completely forgotten about fucking. I have no desire. I am completely enamored with Red Dead Redemption 2 and God of War at the moment. And those are just way more impressive to me. Like being in the city for 10 years, I've had my fair share of a good times. I did all right. I'm not gonna brag, um, but the fucking graphics on these games is crazy. It's so cool. And you can like customize your horse. Like I see no reason to jump back into the dating game when I can go hunt squirrels and bears and rob carriages. I don't know. I don't know why this happened to me. Maybe some people are going through the same thing. Because I'm just kind of over it. I don't know what the reason is. Because there's nothing that really comes to mind. I don't have any like horrible, childhood experience that it makes relationships hard for me. It's just kind of, I don't know, maybe it's a phase. But, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll meet my love in Japan. Isn't that the ultimate kind of fucking nerdy white guy fantasy? Go there and get you a waifu. Get me a waifu. I don't really want to. I think in a lot of those fantasies, the women tend to be a little too submissive. I don't really. A little bit of that's okay, I guess. But I don't know the whole. It's like I don't want to marry a fucking geisha girl. That's not really my style. But whatever, I know a couple phrases in Japanese. I can maybe spark up a conversation with a pretty Japanese girl. See where it goes. It's not going to go anywhere. What the fuck else? I kind of went off on a Japanese tangent there. Oh, okay. Yeah, here's the big story. I was going to touch upon this briefly, but everybody's kind of talked it to death recently. But it's okay. Self-proclaimed gay Tupac, Jussie Smollett, sent some hot water right now for apparently faking his own hate crime. This shit, it almost reads like I don't know, like a Coen Brothers movie or something, just like that. Like a lot of the characters are always kind of like feeble and fucking shit up. And it strikes me as that type of tale. And one of the funnier things about it is that this Jussie, first of all, his name is really Justin, but he's 36 years old, he chooses to go by Jussie right away. Attention whore. That strikes me as odd. But he broke the first rule of, committing a crime or trying to commit a crime and get away with it, and that is, don't leave a fucking paper trail, you idiot. And don't pay people. Don't pay your minions with checks. with checks. Like he couldn't fucking try to find some way to take out money to pay these guys. It just, I mean, because it kind of strikes me as something that was last minute, kind of like cobbled together this fucking stupid ass idea. And it worked for a bit. Because what he was really going for was he wanted media attention. He wanted. I mean, they say that some report I read online says that he felt he was being unfairly paid by Empire, the show he acted on, and so I guess this was supposed to drum up like some sympathy for him and get his name in the news, and then he expected like the producers to be like, well, fuck, we can't fire a guy now, can't fire the dude with the noose around his fucking neck. When he first kind of like he gave his interview, it kind of a lot about it. It just sounded a little too like a little too stereotypical, like the stereotypically evil, a couple of evil Trump supporters or whatever, and just like the shit they were saying. It's like those motherfuckers don't watch Empire. Like, why would they? First of all, how the fuck would they know who he is? But it turns out they were not white supremacist Trump supporters. They were two ripped Nigerian guys. But that's comedy. I don't fucking care what you have to say. That shit's just funny. I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess I understand why he couldn't find two white dudes that would want to get involved in that. But oh my god, just like it's like the complete fucking opposite people. You expect like some just like out of shape, like just like white trash, like super right wing fucking guys, and they're fucking opposite end of the spectrum, just shred it. If you haven't seen what these guys look like, it's like, goddamn. I'm not gay, but if I were, I mean, they're fucking looking pretty good. But people were very quick to believe his story on the left, and or on the extreme left. Maybe they automatically just like fucking believe that shit, and people on the right were like very quick to dismiss it. And I consider myself more of a centrist, especially when it comes to issues like this, when all the evidence isn't there. I like to kind of wait until things come out in the open, brought to light. So I sat back and waited for this to the smoke to clear, as it were. And yeah, turns out he's a complete douche. Thanks a lot, Jussie. But yeah, I living in New York, you're encountered with a lot of very left people, very vocally left. I mean, I guess I probably left on some things. I don't know. I barely fucking pay attention to politics anymore. I don't have the energy for it. I really don't. But you find, at least I've found over my 10 years in New York City, that people do often try to pressure you to like pick a side, and it's really weird. That's why I stopped having those conversations, because I feel like it does ultimately devolve into like very accusatory uh, tone, vibe. It's like, you're a liberal, right? You're a liberal. Come on, please. And then if you don't like right away agree with the stance, or it's not even that I disagree. That's the thing. I just don't. I don't really want to sign a label to myself. I feel like a lot of people are like that now. They don't want to. I'm not part of your gang. I'm not part of your group. Don't put me. I value individuality too much to just jump on a team where the people at the top in those teams, 99% of them don't fucking care about me. I just like to weigh things as they come, as information presents itself. That I just kind of sit on it and I weigh my options and I come to a conclusion based on my own morality, my own opinions, who I am as a person. I don't like jumping right into a fucking red or blue basket. I don't want to fucking do it. I refuse to do it. It's just not. It's not for me. So I've actually kind of been a little more aggressive with saying that I'm a staunch centrist. You know. But yeah, because I'd rather just avoid all of that conversation. It bores me. It really fucking bores me. But yeah, was that too intense? This shit's supposed to be funny. What am I doing? What am I fucking doing to you? Oh, I know what I could talk about. And if you know me, you know my disdain for this fucking show. I've talked about it before. The Bachelor. I was watching The Bachelor yesterday, and I don't. It's not something I watch habitually. But I was watching it last night, and it's always shit that just makes me laugh so hard. Actually, it was the commercial that made me laugh the hardest, because they're at the stage now where the Bachelor. I still don't know the guy's name. I don't give a shit. I don't care at all. But he's getting the permission from the dads to marry the daughters, which I don't know why any of them fucking says yes at all. This fucking dumb fuck comes to your house, and he's known this chick for like a month, and then he sits down to have a serious conversation with the dad, and some of them, I feel like some of them have that look in their eyes, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like they're trying. It's like they just found out that their daughter went on a goddamn reality show to get married, and like you just see you can see the wheels turning in the dad's heads. Like, what the fuck did I do wrong? Well, I thought I was a good dad. I thought I taught her, everything possible to in order for her to have a good life, and to go out on her own and become an adult, productive member of society. And this is what she pulls. But the cameras turn on, and they can't. I think they want. Who knows? Maybe they make them sign some shit. But yeah, they ultimately say yeah. I mean, at least the episode I watched, they did. I assume it's the same fucking show. It's been the same goddamn thing for 20 goddamn fucking years. So I'm sure they. I mean, if they've, maybe I should look it up. Maybe I'll look it up after this, because I would love to see the dad just say no. I was waiting on it. I was like, please, just tell this guy to suck a dick. Like, I would love that. One of these old dudes He has his fucking like reading glasses on. He looks very tired, by the way. They all look kind of shot. And the bachelor comes to him and he says, "I would like to ask your permission. Have your daughter's hand. Take your daughter's hand, and in marriage." And then the dad just like right away, just stone cold killer, looks at him straight in the fucking eye, and he says, "Eat my ass and get the fuck out of my house." Roll credits. Fucking ask my permission. It's unbelievable. The gall, the utter gall of these men. I can't. I just a lot, and they always have kind of punchable like faces, even though they get like traditionally handsome looking dudes. There's something about them, like their eyes. I think the guy on there now is like beady eyes with bad intentions. But the funniest part, getting back to what made me laugh the most, was the commercial, the preview for I think it's the next, I don't know if it's the next episode, but like one of the one of the dads, they're like a southern, very classy southern family, and the daughter is very like Southern belle, blonde hair, just like doe eyes, probably stupid as fucking shit. And I mean, I'm assuming. Okay, maybe she's a goddamn biochemist. I don't know. I don't pay attention to the details of the show. But she first they go to an etiquette. They take like a Southern etiquette class, which I thought was very pretentious and presumptuous. First and foremost, I wouldn't have fucking done that shit if I was on the show. But towards the end, or at the end of the episode, he meets the dad, the Southern gentleman dad, and the dad's like, what are your intentions with my daughter? And it's great. He's like, he's very worked up, and you know what he means. I mean, he can't say it because he's on ABC, but he's like, fucking, like, you trying to fuck my daughter, but dude, like, that's the whole thing. That's what he's getting at. He's like, you just trying to fuck my baby girl. And I loved it. It was kind of it's kind of what I'm looking for. Like, going back to the whole like dad stepping up to the dude and telling him to suck dick or eating ass, I think is what I said. Yeah, that was satisfying. Just that moment. I didn't see the rest of the episode though. The guy probably just eventually won him over with his beady fucking untrustworthy eyes and his perfectly white teeth. Fucking, I hate that show so much, and it's been on for so long. But yeah, I've always hated it. I will always hate it. But I would love, like I've told people before, I would love to be the Bachelor and just sabotage the whole fucking thing. But no one would believe. I mean, look at me. No one's gonna believe that I make money. No one. I'm doing this shit right now. I'm talking to a fucking. This is actually my phone I'm talking to right now. I have my phone and I have a mic. So I'm doing like a double recording situation. Just in case the audio on my phone sucks dick, I can have a little bit of a backup here. But yeah, they wouldn't buy it. I'd have to cut my hair and shave and take baths, amongst other things that I don't know. Yeah, who wants to do that? I'm way too lazy. I actually do take baths. I prefer showers, actually, but I do bathe. myself. Uh, in case that wasn't obvious. But I'm just way too lazy to be on one of those shows. I think it's like I would be the first person kicked off like uh, uh, Survivor. It's just I don't think I could deal with it. It's just people piss me off too much. I would get in a fight. I would tell somebody to fuck off. Who's the host on Survivor? Jeff. Yeah, I tell Jeff to suck my dick probably a couple times. Um, I take one of those. They still do the torches. Pick one of those up. Just fucking whack Jeff in his stupid face. So I did want to be on the Real World when I was a kid, though. That looked like so much fun. Which is weird for like a kid to want to be on the Real World, but it seemed like a very adult like thing to be on that show. Like it was, you were in, and like there's that unknown element. You're in this house with all these strangers, and you probably gonna fuck one of them, or maybe a couple of them, maybe all of them if you're, play your cards right. That's probably what I wanted to do when I was like 10, just like on the cusp of like puberty, and then you're in this house with all these strange girls. Back then the host didn't want me, so I was probably that was an ultimate fantasy. Being like Hawaii, I did a Hawaii one, Miami. Oh yeah, that's probably that's probably why I was kind of a fan of Jersey Shore, because it had that weird ass real world element to it. It's a nostalgia. I used to watch that all the time. But I mean, as a rule, I'm generally not into a lot of those. What is it like that? Big Brother's still on the air for some reason. Now they got like Tom Green is on it. Actually, that's probably the best part about that show now. If he's still on the fight, he probably got kicked out. It's like I would get kicked out. That's one thing I've definitely found out about myself as I age. It's like I can't play well with others like I used to. I can't tolerate people. Like I'm too old to be living with roommates. I can't fucking do it. I can't. I'm like on the edge of just exploding. It's like every day is a struggle. It's not just roommates, neighbors, people on the street. I just have like, I think I have, and maybe I should get this checked out. I'm not positive, but I think I have some kind of like weird testosterone increase, because I like find myself getting pissed way easier and waking up with boners way too hard for my age. I mean, I'm not complaining about that so much, but it's just a little out of the ordinary, you know. Random boners or unexpected boners usually kind of die down after high school. I get at least like after 25 or in your late 20s. So I don't know. I'm not a big. I'm like most dudes. I'm way too lazy to go to a doctor. It's not so much that I'm afraid of what they're gonna find. It's just I hate having to do extra shit. It just annoys me. I like to do what I have to do, what is required of me on a daily basis. Any responsibilities I absolutely need to fulfill. And I guess getting a checkup is not one of those things. But since I turned 30, I am 30 by the way. Thank you. I know I look a little younger than that. I floss a lot more. That's about it. That's kind of like the adult thing that I adopted as far as like taking care of my body. I floss a lot when I watch my shows. I'd say I brush for a proper, what they say, 2 minutes, 3 minutes if I'm, feeling extra adult that day. But I don't know. Men and doctors. That's kind of it's like maybe you could tie it back into just kind of having to constantly keep up this act of being tough all the time, toughing through shit, and just like years of that can grind a man down. And who wants to go to a doctor and find out you're weak? No man want to deal with that shit. So I don't know. Maybe it's something I probably should get over at some point. I mean, I would urge anybody, if you're listening or watching, to get your annual checkup. Don't be stubborn. And wear condoms too. That might be the most controversial thing I've said all this episode. But I think it's important. We need less. First of all, we need less people in the world. There are too many people. And AIDS isn't fun. Or so I've heard. I've never met someone who was a fan of it. That's all I'm saying. I mean, it's not as big of an issue as it used to be. Obviously, I was watching and I highly recommend this if you are an avid Netflix watcher. There's this awesome documentary on Studio 54, and it's easy to remember because it's just called Studio 54, the documentary, and it's great. It's like that. It's well, first of all, what really appealed to me was the fact it's the time period, like the 70s New York. Fucking grimy, fucking weird. I mean, the crime would probably be a little unappealing if I were to go back to that era. I like step out the fucking time machine and immediately get stabbed. Welcome to Alphabet City, bitch. But yeah, that time period. I mean, it has like, I guess every time period is kind of romanticized to an extent. But the whole that whole period of time, that decade, I guess you could go like, late 60s up and through the 70s. I'd like to go back if I could. But I don't even know if they would let me into the fucking club. Again, this goes back to me looking like a fucking greaseball. It's like, I haven't washed my hair today. Looking like shit. Yeah, I don't know. Because I watched it, and the guy who owned it, not an attractive man. Or at least like the main dude. The guy who was very, very outgoing, flamboyant dude. I feel like he'd see me and he wouldn't fucking let me in. I mean, I know for a fact, actually, he wouldn't. Because I'd never take off my hat. They were not big on hats. You can't wear your hat in the club. I don't even think you can wear your hat in the club now. Unless you're famous. And they let you get away with the hat. I was never a fan of arbitrary rules for clubs. I once, when I was in Vegas, and this is going back quite a while, I like followed a dress code to get into a nightclub, dance club, whatever the fuck. And a part of me feels like I sold out. I sold a little bit of my soul that night. And I spent way too much money, that too. That was a regret. But I did dance my ass off, so, you're paying for an experience. But now, like, I can't see myself following those rules. I just don't like them. It doesn't matter how simple, if they're simple or not. If you tell me, oh, you can't do that, if it's not me doing something fucked up, my first question is, why can I not do that, sir? It doesn't really make any sense to me. Oh, and if that's how it's gonna be, then man, I'll fucking go somewhere else. I'll go to a dive bar and make out with a fat chick. That's usually how things play out. I was doing so well. I feel like that the fat chick comment's gonna give me some hate. I have nothing against fat people. Wouldn't be a bad idea if you lost a little weight, you know, for your health. Would be nice. But you know, I don't have anything personally against you. I was never attacked by a gang of fat people. Beat me with hoagies and shit. Didn't happen. I harbor no resentment, or I harbor no grudges. You know, honestly, I think that's gonna cover it for today. I've gotten my feet wet. Hopefully, this is not painful for anyone to listen to or watch. I think this is gonna be a learning experience for me. I'm gonna streamline things as we go. Hopefully, eventually I'll get a proper camera when I have money. And I think this could turn into a beautiful thing between you and me. Like I said before, I sing in the band Glass Lungs. If you are at all interested in checking us out, we are active. We have not broken up yet. You can go to glasslungsmusic.com and check out all of our wares, if you will. And we also have some music videos on YouTube. Just look up Glass Lungs. They're not hard to find. And also, if you want to hit up the podcast, if you want to hit up the crew here in this lovely studio of mine, with any questions or concerns, or suggestions of any kind, or if you just want to tell me to fuck off and die, you can hit me up at goingindrypod@gmail.com. That's goingindrypod, no cast, just pod, @gmail.com. And you know, if you just want some advice on some things, you know, maybe you want to know what it's like to be a poor singer in a band in New York City, and how much fun that is. You want to know all about the pain that I've endured. Maybe you want some help getting through some pain of your own as a poor musician in New York. I could help with that. My ears are always open. It's a gift and a curse. So, yeah, hit me up. Thanks for listening. See you next time, cunts.